Over here on Club Avenue, coming up on Hanover, East Broad rather, just inside the Bethlehem border, right next to Allentown here. Last night I had a chance to check out a band that has been one of the few local bands I haven't seen yet, and they've been on the top of my list for a while. Governing Murphy is the name of the band. Checked them out over at saw they were going to be at the Steel Pub. It's like, yeah, finally, they're at a venue that I'll actually be in the area. But anyway, all I can say is unbelievable. Literally. Right off, I'll let you know, they were straight up 100% adrenaline pumping rock from the start. I knew they were an original band, which that's always, I love the Lehigh Valley's original music, but of course, here in Lehigh Valley, the area is basically kind of a cover music scene, and so they did have to throw in some cover songs like Breaking the Law by Judas Priest. But with this band, I mean, the covers, they nailed them. They're the type of band, when it comes to cover songs, okay, there's two types of bands. They try to sound like the original band and duplicate it exactly, or they'll turn around and try and put their own spin on it, and to a point make it their own and make it sound different. Well, Governing Murphy is the type where they do both, actually, which is kind of strange, but anyway, what I say they do both is, like Breaking the Law, they sounded damn close to Judas Priest, okay? But there were some other cover songs that they did, which they put their own spin on it. So this, in addition to being a kick-ass band, a kick-ass original band, they're to a point unique in their style and the way they do things. Now, as far as their covers versus originals, the original music is where they really came through. I mean, all the original songs blew me away, seriously. And considering the amount of music I've covered in Lehigh Valley, that's getting real hard to do. I found myself moving a lot to most of the songs, and really, even though I was like kind of playing around on my phone, they still had, I wanted to see if they could get my attention keep my attention while I was doing something else. And you know what this band did? I have a natural ability to split my attention, so I was on my phone, Facebook, whatever, like a lot of people when you go out. But I was also, I was absorbed in the music at the same time, okay? So, excellent job on that, because there are times where I go out to see some of the bands, and I'm bored out of my mind, honestly. But with Governing Murphy, not a chance. Now, in the review here, I'm going to have to skip over the dance floor part, because due to the fact that it's still chilly outside, so they were indoors, and indoors, basically, it's a fairly small bar, okay? As you can tell by the photo and video, hopefully, where the Steel Pub is set up with the bar in the middle. And it's, depending on how packed it is, it's kind of tough to get decent photo and video there due to the layout of the Steel Pub. So, the crowd interaction and crowd response. Well, for some reason, you have people in there that really loved hockey, and they had the Penguins Rangers game on, I think, NHL playoffs. So the crowd response was actually really good at times, but the Steel Pub is also one of the many places here in Lehigh Valley where people mainly go there to eat, drink, hang out, have a good time with the music in the background, especially when it's indoors. Okay, so but I'll tell you what, I have to admit it, thinking back on it, on almost every song they got a great response. You know, the crowd interaction. The first set was actually two members doing acoustic. Then they went full band on the second set, and there was only two sets because they played straight through. Okay, but I kept waiting. I'm like, okay, you know, how are you gonna get out into the crowd? Well, eventually they did. They really just, I mean, and I gotta, you know, as far as the band interaction and everything right here, I'm gonna cover all this in one shot. Where, like I said, it was straight up rock. In the small area that they had to play, they were going nuts. They were just like, you could tell they loved the music, you know. So they were going nuts, and at points they actually walked around, playing the guitar, playing to the people. Crowd interaction was excellent. Excuse me. The crowd response, like I said, thinking back on it, they actually did have a lot of cheers and a lot of applause throughout the course of the show. And people were coming in and out, so depending on a majority of the crowd, they were at times really paying attention to the band and really getting into it. There was no dance floor, negligible, not happening. I mean, this band, what can I say? This band straight up, seriously rocks and kicks ass. So, part two, now I've pretty much repeated myself a lot. Quick rundown on the point by point. Number one, band interaction, excellent. When they were up on stage, they played very well off each other. You can tell this band's been together for a while. You know, when they were moving around, didn't trip over each other, didn't trip over the equipment. Excellent job on that. Crowd interaction, excellent. It took them a while to get out into it, to get the immersion factor and make people feel like they were part of it. But once they did, they nailed it, honestly. Boom. Not a problem in the world. They got out. In fact, at one point, the one guitarist actually managed to get up while he was playing and stand on a chair for a couple minutes before he was told to get down. I mean, they really got the crowd into it. Dance floor, not happening, not enough room. It's the way Steel Pub's set up, no big deal. Crowd response. Yeah, at times the cheers, the applause, very, very loud. So the crowd honestly loved the band. You know, I would get absorption factor. I loved it. You know, this was basically even what I needed after a rough week. So, part two, I'm going to wrap this thing up with the overall review and recommendation. But like I said, where Governing Murphy really, really pulls through and really shines, they're great on the covers. You have to hear their originals. All right? It's just the lyrics, the music, everything. And this band, they're straight up rock. You know, they didn't do the cover songs to say, hey, look, we're going to get you on dance floor, we're going to get you here, you know, to put you in a good mood or anything. They were just like, you know what, you're going to have fun, because that's what rock is. You're going to have fun, we're going to get your adrenaline going, and it's a Saturday night, and you know what, if you haven't forgotten about the week by now, by the time we're done, what week? Michael Phoenix, founder of the magazine. To everybody out there, enjoy spring, gorgeous spring morning here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Take care, stay safe, and as always, thanks for the support. I'll see you around later.